Greetings Exiles, this is Cod Raziel coming to you with Sir Reginald Amadeus Fortescue III and Frank. And today we're going to be bringing you our RighteouSplosion Ascendant. Now, the RighteouSplosion Ascendant's main role in the RighteouSplosion Sixpack falls somewhere between the Elementalist and the Juggernaut. With her large, effective life pool, she's easily capable of dealing with bosses, as well as clearing maps decently fast. This is basically an Ascendant that uses Righteous Fire along with some Essence Juice to deal some burst damage and increase the strength of Righteous Fire. We use Righteous Fire as our main method for dealing with trash, and our Cyclone to proc Elemental Equilibrium, as well as to proc our Explosions and to keep our Fortify up, as well as life gain on hit. Now, the advantages of the Ascendant over the other classes is that she has a potentially higher life pool than the rest, and that she essentially has a 5-link or a 6-link in her gloves for the Cyclone because of the ascendancies that we choose. The cons being that she doesn't regenerate as much or have as much mitigation as the Juggernaut, and she doesn't deal nearly as much damage as the Elementalist. So let's go over our passive tree. Starting with the Ascendancy, we've picked up the Trickster Ascendancy. This gives us 30% recovery rate of life, mana, and energy shield if we've killed an enemy affected by our damage over time recently. So when we kill something with Righteous Fire, we get 30% more regen, 30% more healing from Flask, and 30% more mana regen and mana gain on hit and whatnot. Next up, we picked up the Champion. Now, the Champion gives us 10% chance to fortify and melee hit. This causes us to not need the fortified gem in our Cyclone. It gives us Taunt, which reduces enemies' damage. And while we have Fortify, we also gain 15% increased damage, which isn't that amazing, but it's something. Following that, we're picking up Path of the Duelist, which allows us to save a couple of points in our build. Starting from the Scion start, we pick up the Life and Strength into Life Regeneration with the Jewel Socket into Shaper, picking up Elemental Equilibrium when it becomes necessary when we're running Righteous Fire. Coming down into Constitution and picking up Life Nodes whenever we need. Another Jewel Socket for hopefully a Life and Resistances Jewel. Picking up Combat Stamina for the decent 1.8% regen, as well as 20% armor and 5% life. Coming down into Arsonist for the fire damage and life regeneration per second. Also coming down to Born to Fight into Heart of the Warrior, Warrior's Blood into life regeneration for all that extra life and regeneration. We're grabbing Barbarism for the +1 max fire res and increased maximum life. Stamina for the extra endurance charge, and picking up life regeneration per endurance charge. Then going up into the Templar, we're picking up Sanctity for some extra life regeneration, into Discipline and Training, and Retribution for some attack speed, cast speed, and life. Next up, going into Amplify and Elementalist for some increased damage and radius. Devotion for some extra life. Endurance for another endurance charge. Going up into Purity of Flesh for some chaos resistance and life. Grabbing Explosive Impact for some radius and fire damage. Into Elemental Overload so that when we crit with our Explosions or our Cyclone, we get some extra damage. We come through the attack speed and accuracy nodes into the armor, evasion and life, and into Art of the Gladiator. From Art of the Gladiator, Bravery to Master of the Arena. This increases the radius of our Cyclone, gives us some regeneration and life. Coming down from there, we're grabbing Vigor and Golem's Blood. Alternatively, if we pick up the Jewel Socket next to Golem's Blood, we can pick up Vigor, Revelry, Cloth and Chain, and Golem's Blood with the Intuitive Leap Jewel, which is quite handy, and I'm doing it on some of the builds. We also come left to the Soul of Steel cluster. This gives us what is essentially another endurance charge, as well as some extra armor. There's also potential life that you can take here as you level up. As you can see, we save at least 4 points by doing the Path of the Duelist. That coupled with the 3 extra points that the Ascendant gets, that's 7 points, and that's where her main benefit comes from and why she's able to get a larger life pool than the rest. Other potential life you might consider picking up is Quick Recovery, Cruel Preparation, Tireless. This will also help our Cyclone cost a little less. And we can also pick up the life and armor nodes at the Marauder start. And that is it for the tree.
What a gorgeous fighter!
Now let's go over our gear. First up we have the Karui Scepter crafted with the Essence of Hysteria, which gives us 10% chance to cast our explosions per hit. What we want on this is preferably attack speed and flat elemental damage. If you have a suffix open on it, you can also craft the weapon range mod from Vegan. Socketed in this version of the scepter, we have Fire Penetration, Controlled Destruction, and Iron Will, just to increase the damage of our explosions. Next up we're using a Essence of Horror crafted helm, which gives socketed gems deal 30% more elemental damage. Socketed in here we have our Righteous Fire, linked with Elemental Focus, increased area of effect, and increased burning damage. For our shield, we can use a Rise of the Phoenix to aid our Righteous Fire upkeep. We can also alternatively use a Tower Shield with the 20% reduced damage taken from damage over time, crafted by Leo. In there we have our Determination and our Enduring Cry. For our gloves, we're using an Essence of Insanity crafted pair of Dragon Scale Gauntlets, which gives socketed gems have 20% more attack and cast speed. And socketed in them we have our Cyclone, life gain on hit, faster attacks, and Leap Slam. Now what these gloves do is increase our Leap Slam and Cyclone attack speeds by 20% more, which is quite substantial. On the gloves we would like to have some accuracy rating, definitely no flat fire damage, and increased life. As far as enchants go, we definitely need Commandment of Flames on hit on these, as that basically causes a chain reaction from the first moment you hit a new pack, which can also proc the explosions, so it's really good for clear speed. For our boots we can either use Death's Door or we can use rare boots with life resistances and movement speed. Socketed in them we have Vortex, Blade Vortex, and increased duration, and cast when damage taken. This is just to proc our explosions that little bit more. For our amulet we're using a marble amulet with some increased attributes, life and resistances. For our first ring we're using Calm's Way, which gives us 0.4% of maximum life regenerated per endurance charge, just for that extra life regeneration and that extra endurance charge. Our other ring we are using the Pariah, which gives us 100 maximum life because it has a red socket. Inside the red socket we have Purity of Fire. For our body armor we're using Calm's Heart. This increases our life. It also increases our fire damage slightly. As for flasks, we're using 2 Eternal Life flasks and a Witchfire Brew to increase our damage over time, as well as give us the vulnerability curse, since we don't curse on hit or anything like that. Next up we're just using a run-of-the-mill Quicksilver flask just for some extra movement speed, and if you can afford it, a Dying Sun Ruby flask, which increases our fire resistance, thus increasing our regeneration, as well as increasing the radius of Righteous Fire. I'd like to thank you for watching, and from myself, Sir Reginald Amadeus Fortescue III, and Frank, we say good luck and stay juicy. And like, subscribe. Calling it